A quick note before I start the video, this Sunday the 13th at 6 PM UK time, I'm going to be hosting my own group ride on Ruby. We've already got over 100 people signed up, so if you want to join us, all the details will be in the description box down below.
One thing that we definitely don't have to encounter for when we're riding this route virtually is traffic lights.
Ruby is a new partner to the channel, and it is a virtual training platform that uses augmented reality. What this essentially means is it takes real life roads and then computerizes them, which enables you and allows you to ride that road, the real life road, on a virtual platform. But how immersive is it and how accurate is it? I wanted to find out, and I wanted to put the numbers to the test. We've got an 11-kilometer segment right here, Cap De Formentor, the incredibly famous route in Mallorca in Spain. So I guess we're gonna fly to Mallorca.
How you doing? So we have finally made it to Mallorca. I mean, if you have cycled in Spain, if you have cycled in Mallorca in particular, you will know 100%, you will know this road. It is one of the most iconic rides. I want to say the world, but I'm just going to say Europe. And in a nutshell, what makes this road so special is it's just an out and back to a lighthouse. It follows the north coast of Mallorca from Port Palença, and as you can see, the road quality is incredible. And because it's just like an out and back, a dead-end road, normally the road is super quiet, which makes it incredible for riding. It's just perfect terrain. So for those of you that don't know, this route isn't just, you know, a climb the whole way up. It's quite an undulating route. There's a couple of short climbs, flat section, a few downhill sections, and even a tunnel. Now the premise of this video is to simply compare how it feels to ride the Cap De Formentor route on Ruby and real life. Now I know this isn't going to be a 100% incredibly accurate comparison. There is variables which come into play, for example the weather, the wind, but it should give us a decent ballpark. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ride the climbs at about 300 watts. I'm going to ride the flat places where I can essentially pedal at around 230 to 250, and then obviously the fast descents I will just freewheel. So without further ado, let's hit the lap button and off we go. All right, so we're gonna do about 2, maybe even 3 kilometers. Is essentially just like this. It's, yeah, a flat, straight, somewhat rolling road. Then we go through a tunnel, and that's where the first climb starts. We're about a K away. We're just ticking over nicely. So far, so good. So that's the end of the first flat section. We've averaged 248 watts. We're gonna hit the lap button, and because we're on the climb now, I'm gonna up it to 300. Now, normally, 300 watts ain't that bad for me. You know, it's kind of mid-zone 3. It should be quite comfortable. But this is my 3rd ride since off-season. I haven't ridden my bike in 4 weeks. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. At least the road's amazing. The views are decent. Okay, here's the tunnel. Hopefully, this is also on the virtual version. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful. Woo! Don't worry, pal. My lights have already gone off. Metaphorically, of course. Okay, there is the top. 307, we're gonna hit the lap button and drop it back down a notch. Woo! Okay, there's the end. There's the lighthouse. We've got one little descent and then a small climb up to the lighthouse. Watch the go! Last little 300 watt segment, and a couple more 100 meters I can see the lighthouse now. We are nearly there. Last corner, and then boom, hit the lap button and we are here. That is the view. How amazing is that? Now there is a cafe in that lighthouse behind me So, I mean, it'd be rude not to get a coffee before I've got to go and catch my flight.
I'm on the indoor trainer. I've loaded up the Cap De Formentor route. So without further ado, let's hit start and off we go. So for the first period of time, this is a flat section. I need to ride at 250, 240 watts. This is so realistic. There's the car park on the right hand side. Oh, another cyclist, hello. How are you doing? Oh, we're just sat nicely here, 230 watts, 240. We've got Stephen up ahead of us. The big question is, are we gonna see, oh, there's a deer. There is a deer. Not a deer, a goat. I was literally about to say, are we gonna see any goats on this virtual route like the real one? And ladies and gentlemen, we just saw our first goat. Let's be careful of the power here. 250 is the goal. We got a slight downhill, and then the first climb up through the tunnel will start. So as you can see from the bottom of the screen, we've got the elevation graph, and we are about a kilometre, just under a kilometre I reckon, until that first climb up through the tunnel. So obviously we're on a smart trainer, which makes the resistance change depending on the terrain. So when we go uphill, it feels harder, and vice versa. You can set the settings to be from 0 to 100% in terms of its realistic feel. So we've got it at 100 to try and make it as similar to riding the real thing. And that little road down the right hand side, that indicates, or that was my mental indication when I did the real route yesterday. That's the start of the climb. So we're going to bring the power up here to 300-ish. I think my average in real life is like 309, so yeah, around 300 should be good. We're going to hold this pace until the top of the climb, hopefully. Okay, we are officially in the little ring. Thankfully this climb is not too long. Look at this road, man, beautiful. If you close your eyes and think about it hard enough, it almost feels like the real thing. Anyway, we're gonna go around this right hand corner right now into the tunnel, and then we've got about another 300-400 meters until we get to the top. I've disappeared. Looks like I've forgotten my lights, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now we drop it back down to 240, 250. The remainder is kind of rolling. There's a couple of short climbs, but there's not really any significant climb. As you can see from the graph there at the bottom, it looks relatively simple. What I like about this, and what I've noticed so far from riding it, is the speed in the top left corner is more accurate to real life riding. I mean, hopefully by the time we get to the end, we can compare the two times, and hopefully it's quite similar, which is what we're after here. But compared to some other online training platforms who give you a little bit of an ambitious speed figure, I much prefer this. It's just much more accurate, much more real life, and doesn't give you any false hope. When it's hard, it's hard. Now coming around this left-hander, in real life, I freewheeled here, so I'm going to do the same. I'm not going to pedal. So now we're on the last little climb up to the finish. We're going to bring the power back up to 300 watts, like we'd originally planned to, if I can get there. 300 meters to go. We can see here on the bottom left-hand corner, we're nearly at the summit. 70 meters, 50, and watch the car. Boom. We crossed the line in 22 minutes and 20 seconds. 0.9. So the scores on the doors are as follows. The virtual route took me just over 22 minutes. We had an average power of 247 watts. And then when we jumped to the real life effort, that was just under 26 minutes. So it took us just over 3 minutes longer, which I don't think is that bad, given that the day I rode this In Mallorca, it was pretty windy, so that definitely played a factor. But I think where Ruvi really does come into its own, you know, if you're training for a specific event, you want to ride up the Alpe d'Huez next summer, but you want to get a taste of it virtually beforehand, you can do that. There are thousands of routes within the app, and also perhaps you're sat at home and you're unable to go and ride these iconic climbs. For whatever reason, it gives you the opportunity to do so in some way, shape or form. So that's been the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.